I'm Beck and Food's My Life. Today I'll be sharing with you a family recipe that happens to be my all-time favourite savoury dish that my mum has been making for me ever since I was a little girl. Coming right up. So the recipe I'm making today is called chili fry. Now, I'm not sure why it's called chili fry because it really has nothing to do with frying chilies, but I'm going to call it chili fry because that's its traditional name and that's what my mum and my grandma have been calling it all my life. So I guess I should kind of describe this as a sweet sticky soy chicken dish. It is really Moorish and you're going to love it. Now, it's not a Sri Lankan dish, it's more of a Malaysian dish. You see, even though my mum is from Sri Lanka and she grew up there, my grandmother, my mum's mum, was born in Malaysia and she grew up in Singapore. So we have lots of dishes in our family that are influenced from Malaysian and Singapore cuisine as well. Once again, I know, I'm ridiculously lucky. So today I'll be making chicken chili fry, but the beauty of this dish is that you can make the same recipe with pork or lamb that works really well as well. So today I've just gone to my local butcher and I've bought 1.5 kilograms of these chicken wingettes, which I find work perfectly because you can chew on the bones and it makes eating it a bit more fun. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add 3 ingredients to the chicken and give it a good toss. So the first ingredient is apple cider vinegar. We're going to put in 2 tablespoons of the vinegar. That helps to soften the chicken a little and make it nice and tender. The next ingredient is 1/2 cup of soy sauce. And the final ingredient is 1/2 cup of ketchup mayonnaise. Now, ketchup mayonnaise is a very thick and sweet, sticky soy sauce. So it is distinctively different to a normal soy sauce. I like to use the ABC brand and I get this from the Asian section of my supermarket. So 1/2 cup of this. Now that those ingredients are in, we have to use our hands to give this chicken a good coating in these 3 ingredients. Now that that's done, we're going to go over to the stove and get started on the next step. Okay, so in a large pan, the first thing we're going to do is heat some oil on a medium heat. So the oil I like to use is ghee. Of course, many Asian recipes use ghee, and I always do too. It adds a lot more flavor. And ghee is just clarified butter, and it's actually really good for you too. So I'm going to put in a really generous tablespoon of ghee and we're going to melt that down and heat that up. Now, once that's hot, we're going to add 3 more ingredients to the pan. We're going to add 1 large onion diced. I've got here finely diced ginger. That was about a 4 centimeter length piece of ginger. And I've got 7 cloves of garlic that I've chopped up fairly finely. Now, I never understand in a recipe you always see it might call for 1 or 2 cloves of garlic. I mean, come on, if you're going to use garlic, you want to taste it. So I've got 7 cloves of garlic right there. We're going to add that to our pan and we're going to cook that off until the onion is transparent and lightly golden. Okay, now to our pan, we're going to add all our chicken and all the liquid. In it goes. Make sure you get all that wonderful ketchup mayonnaise out of there and the soy sauce. And you certainly don't need to add salt to this recipe because there is a lot of soy sauce in here. But of course, you can always add more to your liking if you would like some more. Give that a good mix. And now, at this stage, we're also going to add some spices and some sugar. So if you can see here, I've got a little collection of flavors, I suppose you could say. I've got 1 teaspoon of brown sugar. I've got 1 teaspoon of chili powder. And of course, you can leave that out or you can add more if you would like some more. I've got 1 teaspoon of chicken stock powder. And I've got 2 generous teaspoons here of paprika. Paprika will give this dish a lovely red, deep color. So it's more about the color than the flavor. Add those spices in at this stage. and give this a really good stir. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put the lid on and we're going to cook the chicken through. So you will need to return to the pan and just give it a mix every now and then. Keep turning it. But we're going to put the lid on and let it slowly cook through. Okay, so I've been cooking this chicken now on a high heat for 20 minutes and I can tell the meat is cooked, but there's a lot of liquid there. So I'm going to now keep cooking without the cover on until most of that liquid has reduced. Don't forget to give your chicken a good stir and keep doing so every now and then. Well, I've been cooking this chicken now for another 20 minutes and as you can see it is a very deep, rich colour and most of that liquid has reduced. There's a little bit of liquid left, which is important. I don't want it to be completely dry, but that is looking just fantastic. And there you have it, delicious chicken chili fry. Now, my grandma always maintained that it's best to do this recipe with pork, and she would use pork spare ribs, chop it up into little 2 centimeter sort of chunks, and she would say pork is the best because the fat on the pork would just add another dimension of flavor to this recipe. So feel free to go ahead and try chicken, try pork, or try lamb, also works really good too. So it's quite versatile. And you're probably wondering, well, this is all very well and good, but what do we eat it with? Well, there's nothing stopping for you from just diving into it just the way it is. But my mother always serves this, or often serves this, with what I call Mum's delicious noodles. So I'm about to make that recipe next. So if you're keen to learn another delicious recipe, look out for my video called Mum's Delicious Noodles. So you can see how simple it was to make this awesome recipe, my all-time favorite chili fry. And now it's your turn. Why don't you have a go at making this fantastic dish? Just check out the description box below where you'll find my website. Once you get to my website, all my recipes are free. Don't forget to like my videos, share my videos, or better still, subscribe. So, now it's your turn. I'll see you next time.